everyone. It's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I am your host, Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take for Thursday night, November the 20th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for Daily Canucks Insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Thank you for waiting for me. I actually got back in time. It's always a little bit tricky on game nights, depending on traffic, depending on who I got to drive home, where I got to go. And actually, I made it back in time. I was at my house by 10:45, which is generally enough time. So I got my tech all set up in time. It was actually this I was waiting for. So the 5-minute delay was so I could finish my Slurpee and not make one of my family members rush it into me mid-show. But I'm here. You're here. That's all that matters. We are going to break down this game. We're going to break down who I saw. We're going to break down who I was with. We're going to break down into some breakdancing. No, we're not going to do that. And we're going to have a jolly old time talking about this game. A game where the Canucks played very well for the most part, but in the end, just didn't have enough to get it over the finish line. Moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's legends, Hall of Fame and franchise members, thank you for your support. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, lower mainland, province, country, continent, around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, or all three. But the fact that you're here with me, you know how much I always appreciate you, know how much I never, ever take you for granted. So this is how you can get involved tonight. Break it down. You can subscribe. You'll subscribe to the channel, get active in the chat section, get notified of my videos. You can like the video, like the fact that we're together, like the fact that I saw so many of the CCC crew, like the fact that Swervin Yrvin was playing on location reporter for Russell, like the fact that Canucks played well, like the fact it was my favorite score 4-2, even though it was for the wrong team, and like the fact that we continue to build a wonderful Canucks community here on YouTube. You can leave a donation and get the donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your membership, use your monthly membership message. And for listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. So I was going to say that tonight was, even before I talk about the game, it was nice to see so many people. I went with Tyler, the line change. I'm not sure if he's made it back home yet to watch the show, but I sat with Tyler for the game, and part of his legend perks, as a legend, as long as you've been a legend for 3 months, you get 2 games to yourself and then 1 game with me. So Tyler has had his 2 games, 2 pairs of tickets, and then he went with me today, and we had a great time. Caught up about everything, about his channel, my channel, family, the team, work. It was great. It was wonderful. Just a wonderful chance to hang out. Hello, Dino. Oh, there he is. I don't want to say speak of the devil, but there we go. It was great hanging out with you, Tyler. Too bad we did not see a win, but it was good. Dino's in the house. Bobby Ray's in the house. Yeah, it looks like, they've switched, right? They have all your names now, not your, for tonight at least, not your handles, which is kind of strange. So Tyler and I hung out for the whole game, and then I brought my 2 boys to the game. So Sean brought his fiance Cheska, and then Jacob brought his girlfriend Michelle. So they were sitting in my 319 seats, and then I was in 316 with Tyler. And then first intermission, we saw Swervin Yrvin, the man of the hour. We got to see the brothers, Ian and Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy won the tickets last night to PWHL. And what was cool, as me and Tyler and Irvin and Ian and Johnny Boy were talking in the first intermission, who walks up but Somi and her friend Brent, I think, not Brett. Brett or Brent? I'm sorry, Brett. I don't think you're watching, but I'll find out your actual name. But it was Brett or Brent, and I should know this because I've known him for years through church work. And Somi, as you guys know, made the great appearance on my show last night, was the one who gifted the tickets that Joni Boy won. So there we go. Joni Boy got to meet Somi, and he got to thank her. She got to say, "Oh, it's cool that I get to meet the person who won the tickets." So there we were. Me, Tyler, Irvin, Ian, Joni Boy, Somi, and Brent/Brett all hanging out during the first intermission. Was a lot of fun. Then I also saw my friend Misha, who works for the team, saw Nick, who watches my videos, saw Sunny, who watches my videos, and a third guy who I didn't get his name, but he caught me on the way out. So it was nice to say hi to all of these people. But yeah, it was great to see everyone. It was great to connect Somi with Jody Boy. Okay, I'll stop saying that now because I'm starting to hurt my throat. And then it was wonderful to spend the game with Tyler, catching up on everything, on every single thing. I guess we should talk about this game now. Overall, the Canucks played really well. They did. The score might not suggest it, but remember that late goal was pretty much like an empty netter. It wasn't an empty netter, but it was a beautiful goal. I'll get to it in a second. But overall, the Canucks played well. And Tyler and I were laughing. The Canucks had 17 shots with 32 minutes to go in the game. So at the 8-minute mark, 8 minutes in to the second period, the Canucks already had 17 shots, which was more than they had the entire game against Florida on Monday. And you could tell they were determined. They played structurally, offensively pretty well. Their power play stunk, which I'll get to in a second, and it's probably the reason why they lost the game. And they had some untimely defensive breakdowns as well. So, thank you, moderators, for doing what you need to do. Not sure what was wrong with that guy, but we will see if he comes back. But yes, that's why we have moderators, and that's why I appreciate all of you that are moderators. So let's talk about this game. Hey, Japan 4, and everyone else that I didn't get a chance to say hi to. Glad that you guys are all here. It's weird because it's showing as at your @ names, not your YouTube names. So some of you guys have different @ names than YouTube names. So I will try and navigate that as well. All right, let's go. Let's start off with the Sedge VC, the Clay Edge Go Visualizer commentary. The first goal of the night is less than a minute into the game. It is Maverick Bork coming in, slides it under Lankinen. Everyone thinks that Lankinen is sitting on the puck, but it squirts out, even though Marcus Pettersson, Tyler Myers, Pettersson, and Sherwood are all in the vicinity. And somehow it doesn't go in here, but then it goes around the net, behind the net, over to Bork. Remember, he's the one who started this mess, and he puts it in short side because Lankinen is way over there. Let's watch that again. It looks innocently enough. Look, it's a 1 on, it's a 2. No, we're still fine. Right there, the puck should have been covered. We had guys there standing there, and then somehow it gets out. And then, 1 minute into the game, I was worried. Tyler wasn't even at the seat yet. I think he was buying his white spot. But he did watch all the games he saw all the goals on the big screen or on the TV screens in the concourse. So 1 minute into the game, it is 1-0. But thankfully, just 2 minutes later, it's a beautiful goal by Linus Karlsson. So you see Dallas is trying to exit the zone, and then Karlsson goes off that guy, and Karlsson just grabs it, and then big shot over Ottinger's shoulder, short side, big time shot. And I think Karlsson now has 4 points in the last 6 games, if I'm not mistaken. Let's watch that again. Bounces off number 15. And Karlsson. So look, Karlsson gets it right at the center line, and it's 1-on-1, and he makes a big time play. He had Besser streaking the net, but that's a dangerous pass. And remember, Besser's right-handed. So if he tries to get it through, it's got to go all the way across Besser's body. So instead, he just shoots it, and it's a great play, and it's 1-1, and then all is right in the world. Lankinen was doing some sliding tonight. That's what we all noticed, but we'll get that in a second. Hey, Nick, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Then, 4 minutes after that, Jason Robertson with a really good goal by his part. So you see Sherwood on Robertson. That's going to become key in a second. So Robertson plays it around the net. Then it gets back behind the net. And right there, Sherwood has a chance. I know he's a righty, so it's a tough play. I don't know if he has time to put it back behind the net, to just shoot at the boards, to try and get it to Petey, but he gets stripped, not literally, figuratively, by Jason Robertson. And it's a poor play by Sherwood. And then now noticeably Sherwood was on the ice for both goals against. Actually, so was, I guess, his line mates. Besser's still out there, but Petey was out there. Same with Marcus Pettersson and Myers. I think they were out there for the first goal too. So once again, play around. It's pumped in the corner. Sherwood has a chance to play it right there. Again, I get it. He's got to try and get to his forehand. He might not know that Jason Robertson's behind him, but still a really crafty play by Jason Robertson, and he puts it past Kevin Lankinen. And now it's 2-1. But before the period ends, it's a great play on the power play. It's a muck play. So Pettersson cross to Besser, to Hughes, back to Petey, to the front of the net. Petey and DeBrusk jamming at it for, feels like 5 or 6 seconds. Yeah. And originally they gave it to DeBrusk. DeBrusk was the one who sprinted to the bench first for the fist bumps. And I even told Tyler, and to Tyler's credit, he saw it right away. He says, when he saw the replay, he goes, I think Petey got his stick on it last. Like, you can't tell from this thing, this mumbo jumbo here of 8 players in here. But then I don't know, you see it. Yeah, you don't see DeBrusk racing to the bench to get the fist bumps first. And then Tyler was when he said to me, I think that's Petey's goal. And sure enough, during the first intermission, they changed it to Petey. So there we go. Doesn't matter. The fact that it was a power play goal, it was awesome. It was, yes. And I didn't want to throw him under the bus, but yes, Tyler did not get to his seats until the 10-minute mark, and he already missed 3 goals. So after I greeted him hello, gave a handshake, I said, did you see those goals? And he goes, yeah, he saw it on the screen. So that's what he said. At least that's his story, and he's sticking to it. All right. So it's 2-2 going into the first period and going to the second period. And that's when I got to see, of course, Tyler came with me. Then we got to see Yrvin, and we got to see Ian and Joni Boy and Somi and Brett/Brent. And we had a good time during the first intermission. No goals during the second period, so we can skip all the way to the third. Then this was the backbreaker. So it's anyone's game. I leaned over to Tyler when it was 2-2, and I said, we might get my favorite score, 4-2. And it was probably about a minute after I said that when we got closer to 4-2, but for the other team. Let's watch this one. Just watch all the blunders here. There's 3. There's Tom Vollander, there's Mackenzie McEachran, and there's Quinn Hughes. They all make blunders, and then now slow it down. But watch this. Hey, Bern, watch this. Yes. 3 blunders. So let's break each blunder down now. And what's tough is hockey's a game of mistakes. That's what Adam Foote said after the game. And there were 3 on this play. The first one is right there. Mackenzie McEachran has got to get that puck down in the corner. He absolutely has to. I noticed, he might not know this, but Hughes had been out there for a long time. And I knew he was at the end of a shift, and he probably wanted to change. But McEachran does not get it deep. Then Tom Vollander, probably rookie mistake, pinches, and he does not need to make this pinch. He gets beat right there. Now Quinn Hughes, he should know that there's 2 guys going to come at him, right? Because these guys are engaged. So he's got to stay in the middle of the ice, but he tries to head this pass off, and then Faxa, I almost swore there, makes a beautiful behind the back pass. What is Hughes doing? Hughes got to be here. He has to know he's the last man back, and he has to see Blackwell coming here, but he doesn't, or he refuses to believe it. Faxa makes a beautiful pass, and now it's basically a breakaway. Hughes is tired. He's trying to cut off the angle, but Blackwell puts it in, and he scores a wrist shot behind Kevin Lankinen. So it's not the end of the game, but that was really tough. That was really tough. And then now it's 3-2. And then Tyler says, you might get your 4-2 score, but for the other team. Then they're trying to get Kevin Lankinen out of the net, but every time they get in the zone, Dallas clears it. So Lankinen stays. And then this crazy goal. I can break it down from here. So the Canucks still didn't get it deep, so Lankinen can't go. And then a little mix-up between Garland and Hughes right here. And then the pass goes from Ben to Rantanen. Now, DeBrusk, to his credit, skates back, and he's got Ben covered, so he shouldn't be an option. So this looks pretty harmless, right? A 2-on-2. But Rantanen takes it to his... goes inside, then goes outside on his backhand, and then roofs it past Lankinen. Now, I remember there's a backhand goal at home. I'm pretty sure it was against Winnipeg. Yeah, wasn't it? Who was it? Was it? No, it wasn't Connor. Was it Scheifele? Someone. Remember this? Scored on the Velarde. Maybe it was Velarde. Scored from a backhand from the slot and was basically the backbreaker on against the Winnipeg in the Winnipeg game. This one, obviously, I probably couldn't have saved it. I'm not a goaltender, and yes, it was a brilliant play by Rantanen, brilliant play, and Tyler and I were joking that maybe he shouldn't have even been in this game after what he did to Romanov at the end of the Stars Islanders game 2 nights ago. But I digress. You can't. And Justin, you're right. It was an absolutely filthy goal. Ian says it was nasty. So nasty, filthy, dirty. This is getting the wrong kind of after dark show. But yes, it was a brilliant goal. Let's go with a more positive, clean image. Brilliant goal. And what could Lankinen? I think Lankinen could have saved it. Actually, I think some goalies would have saved that. I think he was a little bit deep in his net. He didn't have to be so deep. Like he had DeBrusk there. Maybe he was thinking about how he's going to get to the bench for the extra attacker, but there's no need after this. It was a really nice goal by Rantanen. If you haven't seen the highlights somehow, make sure you go watch it. And Lankinen, I just thought was okay. I thought he was a little bit antsy in net. My son Sean and I were talking about after the game on the ride home, and he seemed to be sliding a bit more than he was used to. Like, Demko's so efficient with his movement. Lankinen's not bad with his movement, and then Patera was pretty bad with his movement. Lankinen was kind of more Patera than Demko tonight in terms of sliding post to post. He was out of his net on his first goal for sure, and then a couple of the other. I'm not blaming him for the other ones, but I just thought his positioning wasn't great, and I don't know. He looked, even on this goal, he kind of looked uneven. He looked off balance. I'm sure he was shocked that I think it was a shock that he was shocked that Rantanen pulled off such a great goal. But there's that kind, there's that kind of just kind of surprised at Lankinen's game a little bit. He's being good, but this is a game where he needed. Well, we would like him to match Ottinger's output in how badly the Canucks outshot the Dallas Stars. So there is the goal. Edge goal visualizer. Let's look at some of these stats that are on the right side now that are covered up by the chat and stuff, but you just trust me. Shots on goal, 10-8, 15-6, 11-10. So we outshot them 36-24. We had 60% of the shots on the night. We had 61% of the face-offs on the night. So those two were good stats. We actually scored the only power play goal, PDs. So the good news is we killed off both of their Dallas power plays, so that's good. Dallas is a good power play, so we give the Canucks props for that. But sure, it shows up as 1 for 5 on the Canucks power play, but they really need to bury one, especially when they had that lengthy 5-on-3, and then this is maybe a different game. 24-21 hits. Dallas had more block shots, and then we beat them 5-3 in Dallas. They beat us 4-2, so the away team always wins, so that's not good. Our last game against them is at home. Let's look at the box score now. Who cares about the Stars? For the Canucks, the only 2 goals, and they weren't really Carlson's wasn't assisted, so there's only 4 points to go around tonight. PD had a goal, Carlson had a goal, and then Sherwood and DeBrusk had the assists on PD's power play goal. So only one. PD continues his point streak now. He has 9 points in his last 5 games, but he was a -2. Same with Sherwood because they were on for the first 2 goals. But PD, monster in terms of ice time. David Kemp was supposed to help this. David Kemp did help with the face-offs, but yeah, PD still played 25 minutes of ice time. Garland in his return lineup had 23-38. There were times where I thought Garland still looked tentative. I know there's one time where Tyler looked at me and said, did Garland just tweak something? He looked a little awkward, but he was getting his chances. Besser had 21, so those are your top 3 forwards. DeBrusk also had 20 as well. Then Lohman, Mackenzie McCracken only had 7, and then we had Ratu and Sasson and Carlson all in the 9s. In terms of shots, a lot of shots for the Canucks, and like I said, they doubled their usual output. They had 36 shots tonight. Besser 4, Garland 4, PD 6. I thought PD had a good game. And DeBrusk 6, so that's a lot of shots. And then blocks, 1 for O'Connor, 1 for Kemp, so not a lot of blocks. And then 2 hits for Kemp, 3 each for Sherwood and Ratu. So I do like David Kemp's stat line a bit better. He's a +1, 13 minutes of ice time, and then 2 shots, 1 block, and 2 hits. So he's trying to make himself a bit more known. On D, no points. We had Marcus Patterson, Quinn Hughes, and Tyler Myers, all -2. And then in terms of ice time, Hughes up to 28, Hronek with 23. Then DPD played 13:40, whereas Vovenlander only played 10. And then 5 shots on net for Hronek, leading the team by far. 2 blocks for Hughes, and then 5 hits for Tyler Myers. Lankinen makes 20 saves on 24 shots. Like I said, I did not think he was particularly strong tonight. We go to the scores. Lots of games tonight. Blue Jackets beat the Maple Leafs. Then we have the Capitals that's a lot of goals, doubling the Canadiens. The Islanders shut out Detroit. Interesting. The Panthers shut out the Devils. Flyers beat the Blues in OT. Now we get the Pacific Division teams. The Oilers lose, but they get a point. The Kraken beat the Blackhawks. Avalanche double the Rangers. The Vegas Golden Knights win. The Stars beat us. The Ducks lose. The Sharks beat the Kings in extra time. So it looks like only the Flames didn't play. So Pacific Division, once again, it's the Oilers getting a point, Kraken winning, Vegas winning, Sharks winning, Kings get a point, and we outright lose. So who am I missing? That means who didn't play tonight? Just Calgary, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm missing one other one. Who am I missing? Us, Vegas, Edmonton, Seattle. Oh, no. Yeah, everyone played except the Flames. So the Vegas Golden Knights, the San Jose Sharks, and the Seattle Kraken all win. The Oilers and the Kings get points, get 1 point, and us and the Ducks do not get a point. So now we will look at the standings. And this is what it looks like in our division. Not good. Everyone played, so at least, we're not have the most games played, but we're only ahead of the sucky Calgary Flames. Anaheim is 7 ahead now. Vegas 6 ahead. Seattle 5. LA 5. San Jose. San Jose is beating us by 3. I know Chardot's happy. I'm not. And then Edmonton's even up on us. So not good. Not good. And then you look at the conference. You look at the league standings. And I don't like where we are, guys. We are 28th in points. So only 4 teams worse than us. But in points percentage, we are also 28th. So the same 4 teams worse than us. So these are my final thoughts, and then I'll turn it over to all of you. The Canucks played well. Well enough to win. And the Canucks played well against one of the top teams in the league. And all that, actually the third best team by points percentage, all that can be true. Yet the power play dried up at the inopportune time on a night where the penalty kill went perfect. And we made some uncharacteristic, untimely errors in a game that we were probably the better team, admittedly. And we simply cannot have too many of these types of games. We're falling too far behind. We're already a couple games under 500 now, which is really concerning. Remember, I told you we got to be 15 games over 500 by the end of the season. So I'm not writing this team off yet, but with every loss where we don't get points, it's going to get harder and harder. And what's frustrating watching this one live is we did play well. And I obviously I want the team to play well. Yet it still wasn't good enough to win. the margin of error for this team is so thin. And yes, we're missing Demko, we're missing Bluger, we're missing Hito, we're missing Hoglander, we're missing Forbert. But every team is missing 4, 5, 6 guys now. We are actually, I wouldn't say we're the healthiest team in the league, but we're not as bad as we used to be, obviously. We're not as bad as some other teams. So there's no time for excuses. It is time to get going. And yeah, it's yeah, I hate to say that we're running out of time in November, but right now it kind of feels like it right now. Okay, friends, I will do my mid-show sponsor read, and then we'll get to all of your questions and comments. Thanks for sticking with me. It's 30 minutes in, so that's perfect. So we will now get to all of your thoughts, your comments, and your questions after we thank our sponsors. The first one is our primary sponsor, and then, of course, is Jason Lim of Van City Experts. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts Real Estate. At Van City Experts, their experience, knowledge, and expertise can serve you well in navigating through the real estate market and will help you to choose the best home or condo in the Greater Vancouver area that best suits your and your family's needs. Thanks to my secondary sponsors. The first one is Gassy Jack Art, creator of the wonderful artwork you see around me. Check them out at gassyjackart.com. We got Mulligan Golf Company, mlgngolf.com, golfing, apparel and accessories in the middle of a massive 3-week Black Friday sale. So check them out. And then thanks to my supporting sponsor, Vessi Footwear. Check them out at tinyurl.com/VessiClay. Receive a free pair of socks of next purchase of Vessi shoes. Thanks to everyone who's purchased Canuck Clay merch at canuckclay.threadless.com. I got a follow-up for a couple of you on a couple of things. So I will do that this weekend for sure. Reminders of ways that you can get involved. Subscribe to the channel. You can like the video. You can leave a donation. Be the first to leave a donation tonight and get the donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, you can rate and review. Also, oh, by the way, right now, our leaderboard, Fangirl, is smoking everyone. She has 450 points. Simon has 100. And then a bunch of you have 75 points. So we will see where that ends up at the end of the night. And then tomorrow I will be doing my show, Clay M Canucks commentary. But tomorrow morning, it will not be at 7:45. It'll actually be at 7:30. So half an hour. No, that's bad math. 15 minutes earlier, because I need to wrap up my show just after 8. So join me. I will start at 7:30 a.m. sharp. I'll make sure the tech and everything's good. And we'll go for a tight half an hour show where I'll do what I liked, what I didn't like, and I will do one other thing. So that's my show tomorrow morning. Clay M Canucks commentary at 7:30. Let's give legendary line change Tyler some love in the chat. So Tyler, a member for 7 months, says, if only that chance Petey had that Ottinger got with his blocker, it was slightly elevated, would have been a different game. Had a great time. Thanks again, Clay. Tyler, most importantly, I had a great time with you. That was a lot of fun, just chatting about everything under the sun. But yeah, that play was crazy. When Garland makes that beautiful, corrals the puck, puts it behind Ottinger, goes out the other side, and Ottinger slides over left to right and bats it with his blocker, not with his glove. That was pretty impressive. All right, let's go. Tyler says, I still believe we can turn it around. Shannon says, we're not looking like the Canucks when we had Bruce Boudreau and Rick Tocchet, but we're starting to look like when we had Travis Green. Yeah, we lost under all of them, but I hear what you're saying. Brendan Morrison months and Greed, 7 months. It's the injuries that are making us this bad. If nobody was hurt, we would win more. I agree with that. Tyler, I agree with that to some extent, but we can't use that as a reason or whatever. Why do you think the Canucks are being so secretive about Forbert, not even a timeline for return? I think it's less secretive and more, he just kind of falls down the pecking order of priorities of people that we want to know about, of popular players. I did say that yesterday. Adam Foote mentioned it was a midsection injury. But yes, you're right. They have not said much about a timeline for sure. Swervin Yrvin, did you see Joseph in warm-ups? He didn't play. Yeah, I didn't see warm-ups. I was too busy getting my food. But yes, you're right. But they always have, actually not always, but maybe they were deciding to go 11-7, or they're going to put him in for one of the two young Swedes. But yeah, once in a while, you'll get guys in warm-up if they're trying to make a game time decision. So I did not see Joseph warm-up because I wasn't watching the warm-up. Sunday versus Calgary is a lose-lose game. No matter the result, the narrative will not shine well in Vancouver. I can understand it's bad if we lose. Why is it bad if we win, Yrvin? Explain that to me. I'm curious as to why you said that. Skytree Alfred, you don't have to rebuild. You don't have to rebuild. I want to rebuild. Only 2 playoff appearances. After those appearances come with a few years of failure. That's fair. How was the crowds in your opinion tonight? Was it a good crowd tonight in your opinion? It wasn't full because I know that because they were trying to sell tickets all the way up until game time. The crowd itself was okay. It certainly wasn't the most raucous crowd I've ever seen. Tyler and I were giggling because there are pockets of kids in the chants saying, ref, you suck and stuff. But it was an okay crowd. It wasn't the most lively, but it certainly wasn't dead. We don't have to be in the playoffs every year, but that would be nice. Yeah, I agree, Tyler. It would be nice. A rebuild could have been done these past few years, but wrong decisions were made. Look at San Jose, Anaheim, Montreal. Utah's another one. Yep, Chicago. It's funny. I did not notice Camp today, but then when I went over his stat line, it wasn't bad, but I really didn't notice him that much, to be honest with you. Okay, here we go. Dino with the dono.
And he got it!
So let's give some love to Dino and Mother Mena. Thank you for the generous $28 donation. Very grateful for you and very grateful for how you support me on this channel. Thank you, Dino and Mother Mena. If we win let's give them some love, and let's give Dino and Mena some love in the chat. I can see it already. You got 7 thumbs up on that donation. Swervin Yrvin, if we win, the narrative will be that we can only compete with bottom feeders. Yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying, but well, what can you do? Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? I guess that's what you're saying. It's lose-lose. But I'd rather take the loss of this narrative than the loss of we can't even beat Calgary. I agree. Sunday, we need to win. Dun, dun, dun. Dino with the dono. Dino dono. You're so welcome. I'm so thank you. That doesn't make sense. There's no guarantees with a rebuild. The best way to guarantee failure in life is to not try. Yes, which reminds me, the only person that never fails anything is the person that never tries anything. But I don't know if we want to not try or try to lose. Alfred says, another reason to rebuild. Did I talk about if you're interested in Alvin Rutherford pursuing Steven Stamkos? No, but I'll talk about it now. No, thank you. Too expensive, not effective enough. I'm not convinced that a change of scenery, are we that much better than Nashville? Probably not. So I used to like him. I still like him, but I definitely think he was a lot more effective. I would not chase him. I'm playing NHL 26 right now. Got drafted by the Canucks 15th overall. I won bronze in World Juniors as a goalie. Wow, there's a lot there. That's awesome. Good job. Man, that feeling, if we ever get over 500, is already something to applaud with this team. I know, it's slipping away, right? Now, Snap Dancers, Erwin Aquino. It's weird. It's weird that YouTube has put all your usernames on today and not all your handles and not your usernames. Or these your usernames and not your handles. You know what I mean? I have heard of Ryan Lynn from Richmond that plays right D for the Giants. Probably going to be a top pick this year. I hope Canucks can get him if they can't get McKenna. Yeah, a lot of hype starting to build around Ryan Lynn, for sure. For sure. I have a feeling that the Canucks will beat the Flames. I like that feeling, Shannon. Where is my worry-o-meter at with this team? In the big picture, I worry that Quinn Hughes will not stay. But in the big picture, I'm mature enough to realize that's an opportunity to rebuild. In terms of the season, it's relatively high, given that I feel the season slipping away a little bit right now. I like Stamkos, but we definitely need someone better. That's fair. Crazy that Heiskanen gets so little fanfare. He's in the era of an amazing defenseman. Yep, ever since 17-18, you have Hughes, Makar, Heiskanen, Dahlin, Fox, Hudson, and then even guys that are a tiny bit older that are good now. Werenski, Morrissey, Theodore. Yeah, it's. I'm sure I missed a few good ones in there too. Skytrain Alfred's worry meter is high. Tyler agrees with Shannon. Niedermeyer used to be one of one. Now we have Hughes, McCarr, Hudson, Schaefer. London, DuPont, yes. Hey, Russell. The Canucks got goal lead. Ottinger was really good. Yep. The Canucks created tons of high-danger chances. I'm not worried. I love that positive attitude. Like I said, the Canucks probably deserve to win that game. I'm not a fancy stats guy, but if I looked them up, I'm sure the stats would back that up. But yes, indeed. I guess I need to connect with you about Sunday, right, Russell? Schaefer, now too, indeed. Duncan Keith was good as well. Dowdy. Tyler says very good points. Yeah, I do think the Canucks got goalied indeed. I'm here in the area tonight, but nice. But you fly to Winnipeg tomorrow. What are you doing in Winnipeg, Fillmore, if you care to share? Yeah, these are always tricky to answer. If a healthy Demko was in net today, do we win? Yeah, I'm not sure if Demko lets in that first one or the fourth one, to be completely honest with you. It's so hard to say, right? It's so hard to say. Yeah, Dino, for sure. But what I'm saying is usually on the chat, like it doesn't give both. It gives you either your @ name or your handle. And today, it's your @ name and not your handle. It's usually the other way around. DuPont on the way, chat off stream. I love it. Andre got me big points. Yeah, good for you. I'm just kidding. I love Hughes as much as the next guy. I'm ready to just rip off the Band-Aid, trade him, and start him in a rebuild. That is fair, Kyle. Oh, I skipped this. Russell, great stream today. Yeah, he's a marathon man. Good stamina shown by Russell. It's like the equivalent of logging 45 minutes of ice time. Going to visit a cousin and see the Jets play on Sunday. Beautiful. I'm right across Cochina. Fillmore and I went to the same elementary school, just a couple years apart. I was nervous being on Russell's stream today. Dustin makes it look so easy. Yeah, it's I've seen Dustin's good. Obviously, Russell's really good. It's one thing to pop on for 5 minutes here, 8 minutes here, 10 minutes here, which is still very important. It's a complete different animal to run your own show. And I think Russell would appreciate that. Tyler would appreciate that. Jacob, Trev, Whit, and Jordan, because none of us hire tech people to do it. So we're clicking buttons, we're resizing things, we're showing things, we're making sure audio works, we're sending links out, blah, blah, blah. And you're trying not to ignore your audience, and you're trying to get your point across. And everyone has a different way of doing their own shows. But I think I do. That's why I admire. I don't care how big or small someone's channel is. If someone's willing to put themselves out there and try this, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's, depending on what you're in it for, it's worth it, right? Did the same thing on my stream. Can't remember what we were talking about, but about the names. What were your thoughts on the team walking with Golden Eyes jerseys on? Yeah, obviously set up in a good way to help promote. I thought it was cool. It came off well in the arena. Yes, I see, Clay. Awesome, Dino. We can trade Quinn for Luke, neither trade protection. I'm sure that's going to happen. I'm a little worried about the Canucks, but with the Canucks not winning, when do you look at a rebuild? This Quinn Hughes decision signals what you do. Russell is the Quinn Hughes of the community. Yeah, he's logging major minutes. He's the captain. It feels like juggling. What feels like juggling? Oh, you mean doing a show? Yes. And you're saying the same thing happened about the @ names. Yeah, the mainstream ones have producers, exactly. So do you think, in your opinion, some of the injured players are going to come back soon? Well, they'll all come back eventually. It's just a matter of when. Bluger's probably next up. He was at the Canucks practice in a non-contact jersey. Then my guess is it's going to be Hoglander, then Demko, then Hedel, and then Forbert in there somewhere. Dustin has such a depth of knowledge with an analytics and systems, really knows the game. Awesome. Did he play to a decent level? I might plan to go to the Flames or wait till December, January. That is fair. I do kind of like seeing when the boys can do when Quinn isn't in the lineup. What the boys can do. It's nice to see some of the guys step up as opposed to relying so heavily on Hughes. I hear what you're saying. It forces them to step up, but I think I'd much rather have Hughes in the lineup than Hughes not be in the lineup. Good points, though. Good points. It's 119 for tickets versus Calgary. Is that upper bowl or lower bowl, Edison? Is that upper or lower bowl? I asked you guys who the best player for the Canucks was tonight in the poll question. 45% of you said Petey. DeBrusk, 23%. Hughes, 21%. Garland, 11%. Yeah, it's not the best for write-in votes, but you could have voted for someone else, I guess, if you put in the comments, but then I wouldn't have known what the context was. So maybe... Yeah, I did take. I tried to make the options as realistic as possible. What did I think about Myers' game tonight? There were a couple plays that I thought he did well. I knew he drew that one penalty where he just kind of went falling to the ice. Statistically, he was -2, so that's not good. I think he was on. Yeah, it was Myers and DPD, right, for the first. Sorry. It was Myers and Marcus Patterson that were on the ice for the first 2 goals. He did have 5 hits. He was quite physical. You know, I thought he was okay because it's not like any of the goals were his fault. I don't remember any glaring giveaways. So I thought he was okay. Yeah, here's another thing Tyler and I were talking about tonight is seeing Quinn break the ankles. He just creates so much and gives the Canucks so much more time. Any plans for a pub-type meet up to watch the game? Not yet, Fangirl, not yet. Upper bowl for the 119, okay. Thoughts on the Jets allowing 2022 first-round pick Brad Lambert representation to seek a trade partner? 1 goal in 4 games, 20-year-old center. Should the Canucks make a move to trade for him? Yeah, I don't know. How does he profile? Has the luster come off that much, or is it just needs a change in scenery? I need to do a bit more research on Lambert, to be honest with you. Did you notice that the PP, despite not scoring more, was a bit more creative tonight? Yeah, Tyler and I were talking about how they were definitely using the bumper, trying to get in and out of the bumper. They're trying to look for tips as well. Yeah, it definitely wasn't as static. So it's still usually Hughes and then one of PD or, yeah, I guess tonight it was Sherwood with PD, DeBrusk, Besser and Hughes, right? So it's usually Hughes and Besser are down. Sorry, DeBrusk and Besser are down below. So that would mean that it was some combination of Sherwood, PD, and Hughes moving the puck around up top. Yeah, I did see more movement for sure. The 5-on-3. So here's a pet peeve. Yrvin, I'm not sure if you experienced it in your section. My biggest pet peeve is when the Canucks on the power play, whether it's 5-on-4, 5-on-3, and people are yelling, shoot, shoot. I understand the sentiment. You can't score if you don't shoot. But I'm not sure these people realize that you can't shoot when there's a defenseman right in front of the puck, because oftentimes that'll go off a shin pad and it could be a breakaway the other way, or at the very least, you lose possession. So I can't stand that, and I loved it because people were yelling that when PD scored his goal that was originally DeBrusk, and I felt like turning around say that's why you do make the extra pass. That's why you don't shoot any chance you get. However, the two contraries to that is Carolina. You saw that in that game last week. They just turn around and shoot from wherever they are because they look for tips and rebounds. And today on the 5-on-3, I did think that the Canucks were too tentative. You got to move that thing around. You got to get the defenseman. You're going to outnumber defensemen in 2 areas of the ice. You got to work 2-on-1s. You got to get the goalie moving. You absolutely, and the Canucks don't do that. If you just pass around the perimeter trying to wait for a bomb from the point, which Hughes doesn't even have, then that was kind of inefficient. I admit that. But then even the 5-on-4, you don't need to be yelling shoot at them. And I thought they were okay tonight. Orange Crush tonight. Orange Crush. Got to win more loose pucks after a shot in the PP. There we go. Focus on tipping. Consensus around the league is a top 6 minutes. He's a bona fide 2C. Right shot, very fast, elite puck skills, elite skating. Well, all that sounds good to me, Justin. Outside of his penalty, Myers was a bully in the first period. I mean, that's a compliment. They're creative, but too worried about making the perfect pass. $119 for section 317, row 13, section 317, row 15. Yeah, that seems a little pricey, but it's a Sunday night and it's Calgary. Maybe that's why, but it's not great. Sedin's made the slap pass look so, yeah, they're a master. Yes, I do sell Canucks tickets. Email me, canuckclay@gmail.com. canuckclay@gmail.com, and I will send you my list. Actually, I'll do that over the weekend. Everyone who entered the contest yesterday who said they want my ticket list, I'll make sure you get it over the weekend. Lambert is another Reichel. They did score on the power play, but I'm saying they could have been even better. Hronek was near the net tonight too. I might have 2 tickets to sell to the Flyers game. Hronek scored in tight to the net. Yes, so now they're going to put him there all the time. It was a little, yeah, everyone yelling shoot. Just incredible, and Edison can connect. I like watching an underdog roster showing effort as opposed to a playoff caliber roster that struggles with puck possession. So which one are you saying that we are, Fillmore? Are we the former, the underdog roster right now with good effort? I noticed, but it's way more on Pettersson because we're playing so hard. I feel bad for the guy. Is that for shoot or for something else? Oh, the shoot. Have you seen Ranger fans showing disappointment with JT? Not really, because I don't know a lot of Rangers fans. Although I was sitting, I was sitting next to one today, but I think Tyler's a JT Miller fan as opposed to a Rangers fan. I will say this, Filmer. I don't take pleasure or glee or joy in saying "I told you so," but and this is not directed at anyone in particular. Truly, content creator or not, fan, broadcaster, whatever. But it's amazing how many people kind of took JT's side in the JT versus Pettersson debacle that happened last year, and then pointed to the end of the season last year where JT maybe was outperforming PD, which is fine. And then now this season, I think PD has doubled JT Miller's points, and the season's not over. We're only a quarter in. And that's why I didn't, it was a very, very divisive topic, and it was a very emotional topic for Canucks fans who were watching their team implode from the inside. So I get why it was such a talking point. And you guys remember, that's all we talked about last year. But so it's not me or anyone else saying to a JT Miller supporter, I told you so, you're wrong, PD's way better. I do think the wise move was to hitch your wagon to PD, not Miller. Although PD makes $3.5 million more, he's also 6 years younger, whatever it is. So I don't wish ill will on Miller. I thought he was fine when he was here, and he gave the Canucks a lot of heart and soul. But I choose to cheer for PD because he is the one that's here. If it was reversed, and if PD was gone and Miller was here, I would cheer for Miller because Miller is a Vancouver Canuck. So to answer your question, have I seen Rangers fans showing disappointment with JT? Not a lot, not really, but I don't know a lot of Rangers fans. I see it more on Twitter and online where Rangers fans are getting, because I've seen some of the the highlights of his back checking or lack thereof, but that shouldn't really be a surprise because we saw it here as well. Maybe the Canucks were trying to play the Carolina style, perhaps. PD has a lot of pressure to live up to. To me, Camp was unnoticeable. Russell, I didn't hear his name once. I don't remember him even with the puck on a stick once, but he had decent stats actually. Hearing how good Horvat has been in Long Island, do you wish the Canucks hadn't traded him? Fangro, you know me, I don't like to answer questions from the past because, he was my favorite player at the time. You got to look at what's happened since. It basically became Hronek and Ratu. Is that worth a Horvat? A second line center in Horvat would look really good right now. I will say that. I'm glad Rangers fans are mad. Flyers game is Rick Tockett's return. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I feel like this team will end 500. And where would we go from there, especially with Hughes one year left? What would you do, Clay, if you were Jim? If we end 500 and we miss the playoffs and we have any inkling that Hughes will not resign here, but yeah, then you opt for a rebuild. But it is true that we can offer him 2 more years than any other team, right? Because of the way that the loophole, that the way that the collective bargaining agreement is going to end, we can offer 8 and another team can only offer 6. So that's, $35 to $40 million more is So you don't, even if you think he's not going to resign, you still don't get him. You don't trade him until July 1. This is so hard, right? Because this year's trade deadline is going to be the most you can get for him. But you want to keep him to July 1 so you can put that offer down in front of him for whatever, 8 years, 145, 150 million, like $18, $19 million a season. And that's 40 million more, like I said, than any other team can offer him. That's huge, right? That's huge. The missus wants to go to that game. Oh, the Talkit game? Underdog right now because of low expectations. Yeah. If they're disappointing him, we'll take him back. Noticing today, Canucks very long tonight to move Sherwood off the PD line and move Garland back there after that line was a -2, 10 minutes in the game. Yeah, they weren't great in that first little bit. They can have Hedo back. Not sure if they're going to take him. Rangers should buy him out. Maybe Canucks can get him for cheap. Kane was okay. Yeah, he was okay. He's good on the boards. He's bad sometimes when he passes to the point. In your opinion, how do you think the power play was in Vancouver? Simon, I've been talking about this for the last hour. I thought they got a goal, but that was one of the reasons why we didn't win. We don't know the full story behind the Miller Peter drama concerns me. Yeah, and we might not ever know. Do you think Höglander gets a legitimate chance in the top 6 with PD when he gets back? Honestly, Justin, it depends on how the top 6 is or isn't clicking. I could see Höglander getting a shot for sure. Love to see either a Flyers or Vegas or Oilers game. Yeah, those are all good games. Did Lankinen let in a bad goal? The first one, I would have liked to see a better play. Like the fact that he was out net, it would be great if he just, it's going to sound funny, but squeeze that puck. That didn't sound right. Second goal, not his fault. Third goal, not his fault. Those are good shots. Fourth goal, brilliant effort by Ranson, but I still think you got to make that save. I don't know. Tickets are cheaper on Wednesdays and expensive on weekends. Yep. Focus on the good. Kane is averaging more 5-on-5 minutes than McKinnon, Kucherov, and Suzuki. What is Foot thinking with deployment? For a lot of the hate that Kane has gotten, I know at least for the first 10 games, he was drawing more penalties than he was taking. I'm not sure if that's still the case. His point total has been okay. It's kind of what we've been expected. I just think maybe it just took a long time to score, though, right? Mentioned this already. Bluger will be next back. Non-contact jersey. Demko's week to week. Höglander's probably 3 more weeks. Hedo undetermined. Forbert undetermined. I like this season so far more than last year's. That's fair. Are you shocked at how bad JT Miller is doing with the Rangers? Ranger fans are starting to see the frustration. Yeah. No, shocked is too strong a word. I'm a little bit surprised for sure. Lankinen is still sliding to the left as we speak. He's going to slide all the way home, Yrvin. Do you think Lankinen is playing how Kluche? No. He's not that bad. Filipino Heritage Night is indeed on December 5th. We can't make the playoffs. Well, yeah, we have to go like 18 games over 500 for the rest of the way. And Kane did not get a penalty tonight. And with that, it is midnight. It is time to wrap up because I'm doing a show in 7.5 hours. Moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's legendary Lucas Gates. Swervin Yrvin, get ready for this. Legendary line change. Legendary Carol Bovenlander. Legendary Brian Blingy Choi. Legendary Swervin Yrvin. Legendary Quinn Hughes looks like the WWF's $1 Million Man. And legendary Andrew Chang. Thanks for your support and thanks to the support of Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. And thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. On the way out, like the video, subscribe. You can leave a late donation. Thank you to my sponsors, Vancity Experts Real Estate, Gassy Jack Art, and Mulligan Golf Company. Thank you to everyone who went above and beyond tonight. That was Line Change, Tyler, with the 7-month membership message, and Dino with the big dono of $28. Add it all up, and your leader, surprise, it's Dino with $10.75. His favorite number, followed by Fangirl at $5.25, Simon at $1.75, Justin Credible at $1.50, and Shannon at $100. Those are your top 5 contributors, experience points obtainers tonight. Thanks, Tyler, for a great night watching the game. Nice to see you Swervin Yrvin, nice to see you. Ian, Johnny Boy, Somi, Brett, and to everyone else that we saw at the game. It was wonderful catching up. So if you're around tomorrow, 7:30 in the morning, I'm going to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and one other thing. You guys can probably guess one, and then I'm going to go watch and listen to a bunch of post-game interviews before tomorrow night's show. So 7.5 hours. I will see you for Clay M. Canucks commentary. You missed it. I did the spin the wheel yesterday because we give away some PWHL tickets. So yes, I did the wheel of elimination just last night. All right, friends, cha yourselves to bed. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. By the way, before the game today, I accidentally swallowed a bunch of Scrabble tiles. Yes, I swallowed a bunch of Scrabble tiles. My next trip to the bathroom could spell disaster. God bless. And go Canucks go. Booyah.